Hello guys. It'll be a quick video, real quick. It's something I brought up during the Tekken 8 video I was recording because a commenter asked for it. It's one I thought so, Steve, I wanted to make that video for him. But in this case, why can't people accept losing? And somebody said, "What do you mean? Why should you be a loser? You need to win, 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 win." Well, it depends on what context of losing I'm talking about. These are the same people that say life is unfair. These are the same people that say life is short. You're not gonna live forever. Everything changed, this and that. But when it comes to them losing in the game or in anything, somehow they can't take it. It's too much heat for them. So let's address the game point. Why does every single game need to be accessible? Because almost like the problem is it's not the game mechanics. It's not the problem is you conveying to the general audience how to play the game. You can easily do that with an assisted story mode that's slowly easing into a character, an assisted arcade mode in which Tekken 4 had an arcade and a story mode, so it could have easily just done that and it teach you how to play the character or play the game. But why do that? 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 Why? Why? We could make up excuses. We could come up with 10,000 different reasons why not to do it. And it's hilarious. It's comical. It's embarrassing. Because you would expect these same people that claims who like what goes to another case, right? The term sweat and tryhard. What is a sweat? What is a tryhard? Now somebody said, what do you mean? So from that same cases, how is the average person who's trying to win the game that's a sweat, that's a tryhard? Because it no longer means about somebody just camping. It no longer means someone just using the cheapest thing in the game and win. It now means if you try to win the game, you're a tryhard, you're a sweat. So how come pro players aren't tryhards or sweat? How come Ninja is not the biggest sweat slash tryhard in the world? It goes from boxing to sports to everything. The Kansas Chiefs have just been one big tryhard trying to win the Super Bowl. Why are they trying so hard? Why? It goes back to the same old thing that people just can't accept losing. There are people that will come up with any type of excuse more than late of why their favorite fighter in boxing did not lose. He was on steroids, or it was a car accident, it was this and that. Well, maybe, Billy, if you would have told him to fight him before fighting Sean Porter, maybe he would have won the fight. And that's a push and a whole big if, because Errol Spence is the only fighter to date to come up with the hold across the street. What's wrong with you people? Why can't you accept? Why, there are times where I was going back and forth joning, and I just had to shut up. I had nothing else. I had nothing else. And I've seen too many times where I try to pull something out of the air and I just look stupid. Just drop it. You lost. You lost. And that's what I had to admire. This one kid, I think it was like seven. No, it was 10th grade. Mr. Ola Williams' class was going back and forth joning. And there's a reason why I had to stop joning and cracking jokes about people, because joning has changed. It was no longer about, bam, you hit him with a good punch, a good insult. Now it's just, well, now it just says, your face looked like a brick, and somehow that's funny. You walk like a toaster. Just, that's not funny. That's not throwing out an insult that hurts. That's not attacking somebody's clothes or their character or their teeth. That's not anything. You're just saying random thing, and then somehow that's funny. I have to sit there and watch the change over the years. And if you ever went to school with me, you see, well, I don't joke no more. I come back with some jokes and things like that. But I lost that day to that kid, not because he was funny. He just kept saying random things. He could talk fast. You know what I did? I sucked it up and I moved on. He can speak pretty fast. He can get himself out of situations. He's a fast talker. I give him that. Just like, I forgot what happened, and this dude came up with some type of excuse. I was like, wow. It was just after the Jonas thing. I was like, I had to admire that. I had this guy. This kid got talent. He still didn't beat me in the Jonas, but he had talent. And I can't see why people just can't accept losing. I got beaten so bad in NK9. I got beaten with 5 different characters, and then kept asking for a rematch. Until the guy said, you know what, good game. He went on his way. I've never hit like Sonya Blade to Scorpion to I'm getting beat with half of the roster. And I sucked that up and kept going. Why is it so hard to people to accept loss? And somebody said, what does this have the real life application? Well, aside from the Earl Smith thing, it's just like people are only willing to accept the wins in their life and never the losses. Every time I lose, there's an excuse that didn't happen, or you lied, or this and that. It's just like, if you lost, then accept it. If you put yourself in a bad situation and made a mistake, accept it. It goes part of that whole stupid philosophy. Well, you fake it till you make it. If you want to promote fake it till you make it, then why are you complaining about everybody being fake? When it's publicly acceptable to be faking it until you make it. When it's publicly acceptable to lie on job applications and deceive and do this and that. And everybody just walk around and saying, well, that's just the way life is. And then why do you complain about how life is? You don't care about your politicians, or you struggling to pay your bills. It's the politicians. Wait a minute. You got time to smoke weed and to drink and to buy drugs, but you can't got time to pay your bills? Huh. Strange. That should be quite unusual. But when it comes to some needless entertainment that you don't need, you got time to spend money on that, though. But when the politicians are destroying other people's lives, taking away their jobs and taking away their freedom of speech, well, it's not my problem. But as soon as it hit your hand and blam, pop, somehow, well, they've gone too far. Maybe, just maybe, it was wrong in the first place. How about that? And maybe if everybody paid more attention to their lives and politics and not just get caught up in the useless things or worrying about people who don't have no effect in your life, then maybe the world would be a little bit better. If you want to follow that philosophy, well, I can't save the world. You can save yourself. You can raise your children better. You can improve your own life. And it goes into like a defeatist mentality where you can't accept loss, but you believe, well, life is always going to be like this. Life can't get any better. Like, what's wrong with you? What are you breeding these people? Where are these people coming from? Where do they get this mentality from? And it's people older than I am, people younger than I am. It's just like, so you're 30 or 40 years old. You're a grown man. You're speaking like some type of child. And then you realize, wow, there's not much that separates a 16 to 18-year-old from an adult. None. What changes? Well, it's responsibility. You can give a 16-year-old. Matter of fact, there's been 16-year-olds who've been kicked out by their mama or their father. To be given that same responsibility. If the only thing that separates the children from an adult is quote-unquote responsibility, then anybody can do it. Same thing with being a man. I thought being a man had something to do with the content of your character. It's something more than just a surface level or just how many women you can get. There's more extra elements to being a man than just the superficial and face value things. But no, that's all it turned into. How many cigars you can smoke, how much money you can make, and this and that. It's just... And then people promote these stupid things, and then... Well, when it's funny, but then when things get out of hand, well, God, it got out of control. What do you mean got out of control? It wasn't out of control last week. It wasn't out of control when people were saying, maybe we should stop this and take it serious. But now since it hit your hands, now since it's affecting your viewership or affecting your life, you should have stopped. And people question why the world the way it is. People question why. And failure after failure after failure after failure. And I already brought this in the video. Why not just give up? Why not just throw in the towel? Why not just let it all go? I don't have an explanation for you. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. There's no intense thought. There's just nothing. It's just I keep going because I want to. I keep going because it's a chasing of a better life. I keep going because maybe some says I can believe I can do it. Maybe that's why. It's a relentless drive. It's the same logic where some people should give up on their dreams, but you shouldn't give up on you. People that have become actors at 50. There's people that don't only obtain success later in their lives after years of failure. LA Knight from the WWE has spent 20 years on the indie circuit doing nothing with a lackluster career. Now look at him. I'm not the biggest fan of LA Knight, but I can't deny his accomplishment from getting everybody behind him, even though some people say he's a cosplay ripoff of The Rock and Steve Austin, which there is some truth to that. But look at him, 20 years down, he's 40 years old. Similar to Damian Priest, 40 years old. But then again, he started wrestling like 10 years ago, so it's it. With LA Knight, 20 years of failure, 20 years of living in a cockroach-infested hotel, apartment. So at what point does a person give up? At what point does this one final loss does a person say, you know what, I'm done? At what point? At what point do you say it's over? Because it's pretty hard to promote the message to never give up until it's time to give up. Who are you to decide that? Some of the Hunter x Hunter, right? Togashi. A lot of people are saying, he should stop doing it. Why? Why should he? Who are you to decide how this man should live the final days of his life? Who? Because if doing Hunter x Hunter or creating things is what make this man happy, if it helps him wake up every day and to keep on living, then who am I to rob his sole piece of happiness from his life? Who am I to do that? Who am I to sit there and try to tell another grown adult how to live that life and what to do it? He's not hurting nobody. His bills are paid. I don't know if he got any children, but he's in a relationship with his wife. His life is content. Who am I to decide what he does in his free time or how he pays his bills? He ain't hurt nobody. But you should just give it. You should just give up. It's amazing how everybody want to pick and choose when they tell somebody to give up. What is wrong to tell somebody to give up until I say it is? And people question what the world's aware. This is what you people love. This is what you promote. This is what you enjoy. Have nobody else seen that? Have no one else seen the day-to-day hypocrisy? Day-to-day lies? Day-to-day deception? Backstabbing, this and that. Backstabbing, betray this. Backstabbing, this and that. Just, am I the only one seeing this day-to-day? I'm the only one seeing the hypocrisy and how people really don't care. Another point of sample, right? You see people say quotes all the time, right? What goes around comes around, it's the goes around comes around, or any type of quote you hear today, any type of it, or when you live long enough to become a villain. Is it they never meet your heroes? Well, let's chop them down. Number one, what goes around come around, that's not true. There are people who's been killing, murdering for 30 years plus, and sadly, sorry to tell you this, but there are some people who get away, live a normal life, and just die of old age. So that's one straight down the gut. Well, you live long enough to become the villain. Do you? And I hate people, like when it comes down to it, that you live long enough to be a villain or never meet your heroes. Number one, never meet your heroes never made any sense because you don't know these people. You just know what they did on TV. Matter of fact, up till recently, you never got a chance to meet your quote-unquote heroes or your book authors. They were just one in a lifetime chance. That was it. There was no TV. There was no online interviews. There was nothing. So that is a 20th century type of thing where you actually have a chance. Well, it's more than just a story. You actually had a chance to meet them. So you live long enough to become a villain. Is it they live long enough to become a villain, or you live long enough to reveal who you truly are over time? Just because someone presents themselves in one way doesn't mean you're somehow this all-star good person. Because eventually, the cracks start to show, and you get to see what type of person they really are. Just like leadership. Yeah, that might sound good at the beginning. Oh, they come with all these nice, good wishes and promises. And then, as soon as when you rub your nose in bloody battlefield dirt, when there's you're neck deep in seawater or any other type of problem, somehow the crack starts to form, and you start to see who they really are this entire time. Same thing with money. Money is just a means to an end. If you somehow become this horrific person out of money, it's not because you changed. This is just who you are. Just the way it is. Because money just gives you the opportunity to do what you always wanted to do. Because now you no longer hold back by bills. You no longer got to waste your time working 2 to 3 different jobs or a job you no longer like. You got all these money and funds. Well, you should be able to produce the purest content. Really, maybe you've been following a bad guy this whole time. Maybe the story you've been reading, similar to Assassin's Creed 3, maybe you wasn't the assassins the whole time. Maybe you were just watching the Templars, and you loved it, and you're unable to accept it. Just maybe. So when at first, what everybody was used, because everything got to have a label, everything got to have a blanket term, everybody got to do this and that. Maybe, just maybe, if everybody just broke down things logically, and how it applies to their own personal lives, then maybe the world would be a little bit better. But nobody wants that. Everybody wants change when they want to. What do you mean? Well, people could change how the way people get jobs. People could change the anime industry or these Hollywood industries. They could do that. But, I don't feel like it. Let's complain about it, release a few documentaries, and just hope for the best. And some might say, well, what are they supposed to do about it? Well, what were people supposed to do about slavery? Well, they've been enslaving people for 400 years. What you supposed to do about it? It's a way of life. Same thing with the Industrial Revolution. People began maltreated for hundreds of years. What you supposed to do about it? Same thing when in 1700 they start pushing people to the cities. Well, people have been farmers for 400 years. What you supposed to do about it? And somehow, when it refers to certain things in life, change can happen. But other things, life will always be like that. Oh, really now? Well, they didn't have unions for 500 years, but somehow they demanded unions and proper compensation and no more child labor. I mean, we've been having child labor since the beginning of time. Why change it now? It's been going on for so and so years. There's been discrimination since the beginning of time. Why change it? It's been going on for a certain amount of years. So why you want to pick and choose change? Why? When everybody sees the problem, but instead of addressing the problem, let's complain about it, and everybody make money from watching people complain about it, and just push it off to the wayside and hope for the best. And people wonder why nothing changed. And people wonder why certain people just get propped up and become the untouchables. I want you guys to watch a movie called Street Kings, because when it first to law enforcement and how people react, it was also made by the guy who made Training Day. I didn't know that until recently, like this year recently. I've been watching that movie for like years, and it's Forrest Whitaker character tells Keanu Reeves, "How you think you was able to touch the untouchable? So this is where all the money went, just so you could keep putting more money in the wall. But Keanu, this is our money. How do you think your partners was able to pay all those lawyer fees?"
The units. Who do you think paid for Silky's defense during all those lawsuits? Who's gonna pay for your retirement?
How you think your compadres was able to escape all these lawsuits and all these assault allegations and cops protecting cops? Which goes into another thing. One Piece recently. Well, why can't Kizaru just let Vegapunk go? Why can't Kizaru just let Shutamaru go? So wait a minute. If he was to let them go because they're his friends, isn't that corruption? Isn't that he's just letting some people pass because they're his friends? So when that happens in real life, it's bad because it's corruption and this and that. But when Kizaru is doing his job and taking in Vegapunk, who's a criminal, do I support the world government? No, but he's doing a criminal action and he's doing his job. But now it should be, and these are the same people that talk about loyalty. The same people who play MGS3. Well, what is it going to be, Snake? Is it going to be loyalty to your mentor or loyalty to the mission? In that case, well, he should have killed Big Boss to make everything better. But now Kizaru should spare his friends because of his friends who only thing they had to do was just keep doing the job. That was it. That was it. Don't look into the world history and just keep making inventions. Vegapunk just keep making people's lives better, and that's it. And then maybe Vegapunk should have built up such an army where, if he did flip, they'll just be able to wipe out the world government just like that. Well, no, Vegapunk going to be stupid. Now get it, and then like it's corruption batters and not. And then you realize, well, the only reason why people complain about these things is not because it's wrong. It's because they don't get an opportunity to do it. That's it. That's the only reason they're mad. Because other people can do something, not because it's wrong with what they're doing, it's because they don't get the opportunity to do the exact same thing and get away with it. I was going back to Street Kings, when Keanu Reeves was talking to Forrest Whitaker, whatever just happened to police just locking up bad guys? Whatever happened to that? Which is very ironic, since Keanu Reeves starts off the movie while doing a fake gun deal with these same Korean criminals who are kidnapping little girls, selling them a machine gun, getting beat up for it, and then raiding their house without a warrant, killing everybody in there, and then just they're tampering with evidence in the crime scene, and then just everything's supposed to be alright. And there are people in the comment section defending his actions, when Terry Crews is like, as evil as those men were, they had a right to trial. There'll be brothers from the Korean community from this one. Did you just miss the point? Keanu Reeves broke every inch of protocol to get those guys. But that is good? But when people do that in real life, well, they're supposed to be following protocol. They're police. They're supposed to know. Street Kings with Keanu Reeves, Forrest Whitaker, Terry Crews, and some other guys in it as well. It's an amazing film. When you look into it, it's just like, wow, a lot of things make sense. How did people not see this in the movie? How did nobody bring this up? Because it's a microcosm of everything. When you look at that film and start applying it to everything else, because I was already thinking like this before I watched the movie, and before I look back on it, but it's the perfect example. Another case, Keanu Reeves goes in there to beat up Terry Crews because he's thinking, well, Terry Crews is selling out his entire apartment. He's selling out the chief and his friends, and making up lies and selling them out to the captain. So he was like, well, not to the chief, but selling out Forrest Whitaker, who was Keanu Reeves' superior. and everybody else to the captain, who was played by the guy who's in the House TV show, played by him. I forgot his name. It's like Captain something. Like it was. I think maybe it might be Captain Laszlo. Maybe. So Keanu Reeves goes into the convenience store, the corner store, as I grew up calling it. Every place got one, and he goes in there just to beat up Terry Crews. Now, unknowingly, while walking in there, Keanu Reeves see two gangbangers coming in to rob the place. So he try to rush in there. Terry Crews attacks him because he believes that Keanu Reeves came in to beat him up for selling him out to the captain. Then the gangbangers come in, fill up the guy behind the cash register. Keanu Reeves and Terry Crews try to find some sort of cover. They arm themselves, and next thing you know, Terry Crews getting filled up, and Keanu Reeves absolutely shoot Terry Crews. So Keanu Reeves was able to get out of there and escape, and Forrest Whitaker shows up with other detectives, and he's just like, I told you to stay away from him, Keanu, but you wouldn't listen. And they saw the footage, and he's just like, what if this get into the public, Keanu? What are they gonna think? Well, it's not what it was.
It's not what it looks like. It's not.
That's all there is, Tom. What it looks like. What everybody sees. You know that.
It's not about what it was. It's always about what it looks like. And when you apply that to everything in life, it makes sense. It doesn't matter whether you actually beat the woman or not. It doesn't matter if you actually said a racial statement or not, and what you actually meant by it. The only thing that matters is what it looks like. And how people write it up. That's all that matters. Look at Michael Jackson. Look at Bill Cosby. Nobody look at those cases in depthly. Nobody. Nobody look what actually went on those cases, especially the Bill Cosby, because just because 20 other women came out, 20 other women didn't file charges, and that's how he out. Did he do it? Who knows? But it didn't matter what was the circumstances. The only thing that mattered that he was guilty. That was it. And people look at me like I'm crazy. You're young. You're just like, no. I'm not a fool. I'm not a dummy either. So I don't see what people expect to get out of me. But until the end of time, I just want to be me. Nothing more. Nothing less. No special treatment. No extra sauce. No secret ingredient. Just 100% pure Hakima. Well, you went on quite the adventure, huh? But overall, when you sit back and you look around, look left and right, and it's just like, wow. A lot of things start to make sense. Wow. It's just like, nah, they can't. Oh, but it is. But it is. But it is, friend. But it is. But it's unbelievable. Doesn't matter. It don't have to make sense. My feeling says otherwise. It doesn't need any type of reasoning. My feeling says otherwise. I don't need to see evidence. My feelings say otherwise. For years, for 3+ years, well, the police footage this, the police footage that. It doesn't matter. It's this and that. Then why don't you just change police protocol? Oh, you got nothing to say then. So you don't care about people dying. You just care about you upset. Similar to how the Alabama brawls. A few drunken rednecks not following direction. Somehow that turned into the next big race incident. Well, boy, that's black people for the win. How's that a win? 4 drunken white people who probably didn't own much getting whooped in a fight that they started it. And that dude hit that girl with the chair for no reason. She wasn't even standing up fighting. Clopped in the head, and then he clopped some of his own black people in the head. But it's a whole moment. Look at the chair. Well, I guess the Boondocks was right. Just throw a chair and I guess eat dirt and gain delicious and start fighting. Because it's almost like if people hate you that much, if people despise your existence, that they'll try everything in life to destroy you, the best thing you could do is succeed. Right there in front of their faces. Succeed. And to force them to watch you succeed. And to force them, no matter what they try, what type of concoction they come up with, to force them to watch until the end of their days of your success and how you change the world. Beating up somebody in the street don't help nobody. It's not putting money in nobody's pockets. It's not proving anything. From that same logic, well, white people were already clutching their purses and wallets when they walked next to you. So what's changed? It's already the whole thing where the white people don't fight. So it's just, how is that a win for the black community? You believe white people are this racist and hate you this much, then succeed. But no, it's never about that. It's not about anything where it's just like, hey, it creates actual change, because it's never been about the change. When you realize that everything else makes sense, it's not about the change. It's no different how everybody criticize the whole American independence, where it was only independence for, Thomas Jefferson, and Ben Franklin. Wait a minute, how are you doing anything different? Because with Black Lives Matter, only a few black people got rich, and everybody else remained poor, and nothing changed. But they get criticized because, and then it goes back to the whole notion, why would it be a part of history? You're a part of history, alright, you big dummy. That same history that keep repeating itself. It's like nobody wants to learn. Nobody wants to change. Nobody. Nobody. So anyway, some of my family members talk, you expect, it's wrong because it's wrong. No, it's not wrong because it's wrong. It's just wrong because someone doing it to you. And I should have the exact same opportunity to do it to them. So, if you're going to enslave the people that enslave you, then why are you complaining that slavery is bad if slavery is not bad then? If everybody can do it. It is what it is. Because people don't want to change. People don't want better. But capitalism don't work while you're benefiting from capitalism. Amazing, isn't it? Wow. Then when you connect the dots, you look to your left, you look to your right, you look at the people who people follow and boost up, how everybody enjoy. Well, I want to follow the real. But somehow the realest people who's doing the most genuine things are never heard. And there's always the copycat, there's always the false imitator, there's always the lie, it's always the this and that who gets promoted. And no one complains. And of course somebody makes a video, well, it was actually this person. Rick Ross lied about his entire career, nobody cared. No one batted an eye. You think Freeway Rick Ross is somebody getting helped out? You think someone's filling up Freeway Rick Ross bank accounts? No. They don't. Similar how, well, I had a debate over Thanksgiving, well, false incarceration. Y'all don't care about when black people get falsely incarcerated. Why are there an army of white people trying to free these men? How come nobody's outside? Well, congratulations, welcome home. But let it be some broken down rapper who got a body or two that somehow everybody and their grandmother know who he is. Coincidence? Methinks not. A whole lot of people who just don't even really care about the truth, just all about how I feel. Well, the IRS don't care how you feel when they take your money. Life don't care how you feel if you gotta pay somebody else for some goods. Life don't care how you feel when your car, when your transmission blow out, or you need to get your brake trains. Life don't care. Facts don't care. Well, I feel like I should have won. Too bad, nobody cares. So why people cannot accept losing? Why? And then people lose, don't learn nothing from it. Then people lose, then come up with 10,000 different excuses. Then people lose, and then there's this and that. And then they sit around telling other people they should learn from a loss. And then not only did they not learn from the loss, they don't even be accountable for their actions. I know I saw all these things, but I just, look, man, I try the best I can. No, they don't even do that. They can't even say sorry to their audience that they can't uphold the standards that they've been pushing out. And of course, you always use the excuse, well, I'm only human. Everybody makes mistakes. You can apply that to every genocidal maniac, to every world dictator. He was only human. Everybody makes mistakes. He was only human. Who told you need to be perfect? You can apply that logic to everybody. You can apply it to Joe Biden right now. He was only human. What do you mean he's supposed to upkeep his promises? What do you mean? You can apply it to every single hated or liked person on the planet that was only human. What do you mean you expected him not to drink and drive? He was only human. Why are you trying to hold him with these it's not they're only human. It's nobody's perfect. The person who shot MLK, he wasn't perfect. The person who just ran over that pregnant woman, he wasn't perfect. John Jones, he wasn't perfect. It's amazing how he wasn't perfect. It's supposed to be used as a scapegoat and an excuse for everything, because nobody's perfect. And opinions about it. I don't know how much you got it. That's been my thoughts and opinions about it. And I don't know you guys' thoughts about why can't anybody accept loss? How come nobody can accept losing? MWK, guys. Like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and peace.